injuries, etc. This was not a power outage event. As we stand here, there are less than 3,000 outages in the state. So thank God that was not an element here. And as Tony said, that would have been a big issue in Berkeley Heights if power had been out. And thank God in most places it didn't go out. We had a home explosion in North Plainfield. Reasons why we're not sure, being investigated, but thank God nobody was home and nobody got hurt as a result. But this is, we're seeing more of this, and the intensity is so more frequent and more intensity. I think Angie and her team said 6 inches of rain in under 2.5 hours in 2 waves. Importantly, one wave sort of knocked a lot of these communities a little bit off kilter, and the second one came in for the kill. And so we're assessing around all these communities and counties state of play as we speak. More weather likely. We're in one of these patterns right now, hot and humid, late afternoon, early evening thunderstorms. It doesn't feel, as I stand here now, as though tonight, tomorrow, Thursday will be in the same level of intensity that we saw last night, but you never say never. The White House has been in touch this morning, which is a good sign, and we will be assessing, led by Dan Kelly, who's been on the clock since Superstorm Sandy, well before my time. We'll be working with counties and communities to assess level of damage. We're always trying to figure out whether or not we meet certain federal thresholds. It's far too early to tell. But this clearly was a significant weather event, and we'll keep folks posted. Again, the best way to sort of log in if you've got damages is to go through the community. The communities will in turn go through the county, and we will in turn work with the counties in terms of assessing that total. There's also small business SBA potential relief for small businesses, which is another avenue that we've pursued in the past. Again, too early to tell whether or not we hit any of those bogeys, but we will be all over this as we have been in prior storms. Angie, anything you want to say?
I just want to thank you, Governor, and your team for reaching out immediately last night as we were sort of going through difficult times. I want to thank my police department and my OEM staff for keeping on top of it. I don't think any of them have had any sleep. I don't know if you've had any sleep,
I've had
Governor.
more sleep than they have, but yeah.
I just want to thank you and your team.
Thank you, Angie. I appreciate that. And it's always great to be here. I'm looking forward to coming back for a happier occasion soon. Anything that folks have? I think we'll stay on topic.
Can you offer some details about the deaths in Plainfield, please?
I don't, Tracy, other than they were in a submerged automobile, and their remains were extracted at some point overnight or early first thing this morning.
Age,
I don't have age here.
Plainfield, Governor?
I'm sorry?
What roadway in Plainfield?
Do we know, Dan or Rob?
It wasn't North Plainfield.
No, it was Plainfield proper.
Right.
We don't, but we'll come back to you with anything we can get.
Was it on a main roadway or a side street?
Cedarbrook Park?
Cedarbrook Park.
Governor, 1 week ago at the beginning of July, there were 2 people dead on Plainfield, right now 2. What we're expecting, because the summer is still going, especially in this area.
Listen, I was on with Mayor Mapp this morning lamenting that very fact. They lost 3 folks in the storm on July 3rd and lost another 2 folks last evening. We're in one of these, we're not unique, but we're in one of these sort of high humidity, high temperature, high storm intensity patterns right now that we've been in before, but it feels like events like last night, again, not just in New Jersey, but as a general matter, are coming more frequently with more intensity. So I would just say that, therefore, everybody needs to stay alert. We're in one of those patterns right now, and we can't take anything for granted. Particularly, I said to Angie, water has killed more people in my time as governor than any other sort of weather event. Power outages, tornadoes, snowstorms. For whatever reason, water, and we don't know the circumstances in Plainfield from last night, so this comment is not directed at that, but as a general matter, this feels like there's a human nature that I could beat water. I know I can't be their tornado. I know I shouldn't touch a down power line, but my vehicle can make it through water, or I could stay in my house. And people have paid with their lives over the
But
time
there is
we've
any change on the infrastructure in the future for all these
I mean, we've got to we're getting, I've said this ad nauseum, we, New Jersey, we, America, we, the globe, we're getting dragged by climate. Our preferred position would be to get out ahead of it, which we've done a lot over the years to, fortify infrastructure. And by the way, as we speak, and as of this morning, there's only one track line in the entire system of NJ Transit that's down on the coastline. That'll be back up this afternoon. So our infrastructure investments and hardening of those assets have paid off. Power outages are lower today than if you had the same event 7 or 8 years ago. But when you're talking about loss of life, you got about 1,000, and we have not.
Governor, in the past you talked about doing preemptive state of emergencies. It seemed like last night state of emergency was announced after it was declared and after rain started falling. Can you talk about the timeline?
I mean, I don't know that we had the confidence. My colleagues can interject here in terms of what would the ultimate intensity of this storm be before the storm. We put out a pretty aggressive amount of social media yesterday afternoon. Tim Hillman, Chief of Staff, and I were in a series of meetings together, and we were cranking out warnings. But it's pretty clear. And by the way, the state of emergency went for the entire state, not just for this part of the state, because other parts of the state later on last evening and through the night had significant weather as well. So you try to call those shots as best you can. Had we called it an hour earlier, I'm not sure that would have impacted things, but we obviously try to get it as right as we can.
Did alerts go?
Déclaration gouverneur l'État de New Jersey, Chris Murphy, qui a expliqué situation qui arrivait côté que a perdu 2 moun dans une inondation qui frappait c'est ça également. Donc les États-Unis li en état d'alerte, gagné en pile state qui ont annoncé et flotte capable frapper yo, inondation capable frapper yo, en pile de l'eau capable arriver dans zone sa rivière yo capable monter yo en crue ou bien ça nous relève de l'eau qui descend non, c'est tellement rivière là li gen de l'eau li dépasser et espace de sécurité que li a dépassé cabane cadre que li a espace qui érigé pour li a rivière là dépasser de l'eau vient permettre que li envahit population dans espace côté que yo même yo habité et c'est ça que nous souvent dit ici de l'eau pas jamais perdu route. Donc si on construit nos zones ou connaissons zone qui Floride, si on construit nos zones ou connaît ces zones qui te une rivière là-dedans, ce espace qui te une grande rivière là-dedans ou construit là-dedans, attend nous yon jour de l'eau li gagner pour le demander au compte. C'est ça qui arrivé à une série de monde. Mais autorité ont fait effort qui est nécessaire pour que yo capable aider par les problèmes. Cependant, il y a un pile set qui est victime à cause passage cyclone qui change koyo et un ouragan et bien gagné là qui cause problème déjà tant que ça arrivé Texas en 45 minutes de l'eau la rivière la Guadeloupe est montée de 26 pieds d'après information que autorité au bail ça vient fait que de l'eau a tué tout on plus passé et 100 alors il était 129 te gain 160 qui était toujours resté disparaître jusqu'à moment par là nous pas gain information sinon l'a augmenté puisque depuis hier autorité ont décidé au camper recherche que tu as fait pour jouer un cadavre. Ça veut dire qu'il n'y a pas aucun espoir. Tu as cherché des gens qui mourent, aller pour les gens qui vivent. Il n'y a aucun espoir pour les gens qui vivent. Moyennant que c'est un miracle, bon Dieu, c'est un travail, bon Dieu, qui prend un citoyen de rivière là, les mettait lion côté jusqu'à ce que les capable de retourner la caille. Parlementaires républicains qui en majorité ont bloqué une manœuvre que députés démocrates ont fait dans chambre pour que tu capable de gagner un dossier dans méo qui concernait Jeffrey Epstein, nous connaissons qui était en prison, monsieur qui mourit et bien Jean que bagala est là, il a toujours à chercher information pour dire que son conspiration c'est tuer monsieur dans prison. Donc les démocrates ils ont arrivé son bloc que parti républicain en fait qui empêchait de publier document si là. Même gens tout, n'avait faut connaître que ancienne administration Joe Biden nan li nan parlementaire ensemble avec la justice pour plusieurs membres à répondre aux questions commission différentes commissions parlementaires et genade qui même pral devant tribunal pour répondre aux questions que yo connaît sous acte assassinat l'homme qui était mené la mort Jovenel Moïse qui était disparu la Cali tout bien que yo même yo était possédé bagage qui était extrêmement important que yo était possédé à cause bandit qui était débarqué la cage Jovenel Moïse qui était tué monsieur. Red branché Pstars, nous continuons ensemble avec vous. Rendez-vous à midi devant le trône au coin jeudi, c'est mardi, c'est jour pour que nous ayons chance de parler ensemble avec vous.